Oh, did you, a haboob? You know what that is?
What?
No.
Google it right now. Haboob.
How do you spell it?
H-A boob.
H-A-boob. It's a real word. Okay. A severe dust
Violent
storm.
impressive wind blowing in summer.
A severe dust storm caused by powerful thunderstorms.
That's why it was brown outside everywhere.
Welcome back, Night Owls, to the next episode of Tales at Twilight. Last episode, the party journeyed into the bandit fortress after being threatened by Scout, who left a letter for Q, threatening one of his closest and dearest friends. You fought Kryn in the forest, got a magical feather, which you have not used yet, but you do know is extremely powerful magic, but does come at a cost. It does resemble some of the radiant features of the Amaranthines, but a corrupted version of it. After sneaking in and correctly using the password to enter, Penny, you snuck around the entrance and spotted 2 smiths that worked in the bandit fortress. They were captured from Brackenmill. Luckily, you didn't ask, but you mentioned Gundrick, and they acknowledged who it was. So you discovered that they were planning to rebel and do an uprising, as a lot of the bandits had already left. And you discovered why, to an extent. In the battle between Dale, a member of the Whispering Pines Monastery, Q snuck over to the tables and was able to look at some of the documents that were laying there, among other things that he did not roll high enough to see.
No.
But you found you found plans for trebuchets and siege equipment, and before entering this fight, those smiths had told Thistlefoot that the bandits were planning on attacking Alderheart, which is where Evelyn and the Birdfolk Council resides. Speaking of the Birdfolk Council, Dale had mentioned his reasoning behind joining these bandits and trying to correct their path and guide them accordingly recently was to combat the corruption of the Birdfolk Council. And as the party started to intervene in the fight a little bit, with Q going shadow mode and amplifying his voice in a aggressive way, alerted General Krall on the upper floor. And with a feral excitement, he burst through the door with a shadowy blade that ignited with similar mists to what you guys experienced in the forest. And that is where we were before.
Don't like that.
But we're going to go ahead and roll it back a little bit. We're going to go back in time.
Insert roll here.
We're going to go back to a calmer time, a more peaceful, sunny day in the Whispering Pines Monastery. As the winds breeze through the gargantuan pine trees that encapsulate the monastery, the humble monastery that resides within the forest, we see a younger Thistlefoot sparring in the open ground with a familiar figure, a crowfolk, Dale. And I would like you to roll initiative for me.
Okay. 8.
As you perform what stance are you in?
Right now I am in the leaf in the wind stance. More of a defensive stance to try to take your opponent's maneuvers and strength against them and to cause them to kind of like flow away from you.
Okay. And in a not familiar to you now, but later on, you see that wrathful willow stance that Dale holds with the open hand behind above and the fist forward and multiple strikes coming at you. And oof. You are able to he throws a fist, you pivot and push his elbow up, and his fist goes straight up in the sky, and he pivots and swings, and one fist does make contact at your shoulder. Yes, he lands a blow, and you hear behind you, Master Mackerel. Good. Redirect his attack. But focus on the follow-up. Do not get distracted. Take a breath. Slow down. You'll be able to see his attacks coming.
Yes, master. Grab my, collect my breath, slow my breathing down some, and open up my senses to not just the air that's flowing around me, but also the movement of Dale, to see where his next strikes are going to come from. Right now, I'm going to still remain my leaf in the wind stance.
Okay. We'll make that like a dodge action. So he'll have disadvantage to hit you. And this is going to be a little game we're going to play. Whoever gets 3 hits first wins. He has 1 hit on you. 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
And since you are in training, he's helping you, teaching you, your master, how to use the reflexive redirect attack that you still have not mastered to this day. But I need you to roll a d10, and you will add 10 to it for now.
9, so 90. Or no, oh my god. 19.
He did.
19.
19.
He did not make it.
No longer training.
He spins on 1 foot, throwing a back heel kick that comes around for you, but you're able to grab his leg, reduce it to 0, and throw him down, counting as 1 hit. You are successfully able to redirect. He's going to push up off the ground. He flaps his wings.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just hit the mic. That hurt. He flaps up, is able to get back on his feet, and he goes in for 2 more hits.
As he's jumping up, I'm going to use the flow of the defensive maneuver, the maneuver of tossing him and flowing, and close the distance between me and him and get all up in his face.
As you close the distance, you lose that rhythm of your breath and the movement. And as he gets up, he flaps his wings and instinctively kicks out a foot and makes contact with your chest. 2-1.
Dang it, Dale.
He's
Dang it,
going
Dale.
to have 1 more attack. And with a final
Checks out.
dive, as he has shot up into the air, he glides towards you as you are pushed back from his attack that you just took, and spins, and a final punch uppercuts you on the head, and you fly back on the ground and slide into the dirt.
I'm going to try to get up and immediately go into an aggressive, just a thorn sharp stance of trying to just strike out. But as I'm fixing to do that, a staff kind of redirects the hit from it. My master just looks at me and just gives not a disappointed shake, but just a not now shake. I gather my breath and I bow towards my master. Sorry, master.
There is a fire that burns in you, and you must tame it. The breath brings it life, and the meditation brings control. Take some time to meditate. Control the fire inside of you.
Yes, master.
And as that memory fades, General Krall entered the fight. What you thought initially was a blade, the mist disappears, and what you see now is a giant thorn or a bramble covered in this blue light that looks to have arcane script around it, and it's pulsing. And it's almost like a heartbeat, and it quickens, and you just see that foaming mouth dripping, and you see a slow grin grow across his face. I'm so excited.
Nope, I'm out.
Somebody forgot to take their rabies vaccination.
As he's locked eyes with Q, matching that energy, he bolts on all fours, cracking into, like, his nails scratching on the ground like a rabid animal coming at you.
Me too. And he's gonna start charging towards him with his shield up.
Ooh. He collides with you in the center. Your mutual rage connects, and the first jab hits you in the stomach. You feel this thorn pierce your armor. You feel fear, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
No, not again.
19. Did I win finally? Please?
Your anger, unshackled, is pushing you through, but he still stabs you. You feel the pain. You will take 9 piercing damage as he jabs it into your stomach. As he rips it out, he goes to slash it across you, and you're able to jolt backwards, sliding back, and then like a feral animal that he is, he lunges at you, and instead of attacking you with his weapon, his mouth opens and he clamps down on your shoulder.
Ouch.
And you take 7 piercing damage from that. Penny.
Scared.
What are you doing? what are you doing?
How's it going, Penny?
How's it going, Penny?
This guy's biting my shoulder. Weird.
I'm getting my butt handed to me.
She's gonna wrap it around a few times in the air and then just slam down onto his to Krall's back.
Oh, okay.
Bing bong.
You do hit. Yes. Yeah, your hammer comes down. You hear like a little bit of a crunch as you hit into his back, right on the spine. Muscle does not protect your spine.
Fun fact.
And Q, you do feel his jaws unclamp you from the reaction as he hits or gets hit by Penny's hammer. How much damage?
14.
Dang. Yeah, that you feel that crack and crunch as you bring down that massive hammer down on his back, unclenching jaws around Q. You now stand on either side of this massive brute. Thistlefoot, we move over back to your scene, your duel with Dale, but in real time, in the present. He has just ravaged you twice now, in your past and in your present. You've taken a pretty brutal hit.
With that flashback, the words of my master,
Take some time to meditate. Control the fire inside of you.
and after the last hit, I'm going to go into my leaf in the wind stance. But as I go, I'm going to breathe in slowly, out slowly. On my last breath, the wind changes, and I am going to rush at Dale. But instead of trying to lash out in anger like a thorny rose bush, I am going to strike out like a wooden hammer, being inspired by the hit that Penny had. And I'm going to close the gap in. I'm going to flow under Dale's wing, and I'm going to take my elbow and just cut through the air and just strike as hard as I can into his rib cage, right under the arm wing branch.
We hit tender places today.
Not the tenders.
As you throw the elbow, he, similarly to the way you did to him years ago, grabs your elbow, flips you over, throws you onto the ground, and you roll backwards, slamming against one of the tables, and you hear some of the books clash on the ground, papers fly up, and some glass vials are rolling around just above you. And he just slowly walks up to you. You have learned nothing.
I'm just going to slow my breathing and slowly stand up. And this time, instead of a leaf in the wind stance, I take a iron root stance. I'm going to use the patient defense disengage action as a bonus action, so that next time he tries to hit me, I want to kind of flow around him towards his back.
Before it hits his turn, legendary action. For those who don't know, the only reason I'm saying that now is so everyone knows why he's getting more actions. A more dangerous or higher level enemies can sometimes do things called legendary actions, which allows them to insert another attack ability or interaction into roles of where people have been. And he's gonna do that now. As you take that iron-rooted stance, a quick flap from his wings, and just like before, dashes forward to you. As he comes to do that, prepared unlike last time, his fist meets the table and the table flies up against the wall, and you just easily maneuver around him, stepping around in your stance. And as the papers fly that were remaining on the table and glass bottles shatter behind you, he says, "Maybe you did learn something new, but it won't save you here." He's going to flip around, grab you, and try and do an open palm to your chest and hit you, which he does with a 19 to hit.
Is this bludgeoning?
It is not.
It is not bludgeoning damage?
This entire fight, the difference between when you fought him back then and now is all of his attacks have been force damage, amplified by whatever abilities he has. So he can
it's
change
force, not blunt.
Yes.
Dang it!
Yes. So he hits you. I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. Constitution. 12.
As his open palm meets your chest and you keel over for a moment, you see a small grin go across his face, and he spins around to kick you, trying to do what he did last time. He hits you and does 9 force damage as his taloned foot hits you, and unsuspecting to you that ethereal talon comes in out of the left side, and it's not attacking you, it is shoving you. The claw comes in and does a wide swipe and pushes you against the wall, and as those glasses shatter, fire ignites in the room. A green flame erupts from the table and encapsulates you. You take 2 fire damage, and you are now on fire. And we'll shift the battlefield back over to the rest of the party. Q, it is your turn.
Feeling the blood running from his shoulder after the bite and the ferocity of Krall, is gonna make eye contact with Penny. Penny, the forest! You remember, you pulled me. Do it again.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna intentionally reach into his apron where Penny can see and show the vial of bottled lightning. And he's gonna hold his action.
Oh.
We're already going nuclear.
He's gonna hold his action. As a bonus action, he'll cast Healing Word at 2nd level.
Ooh, okay.
On Thistlefoot. He'll turn to Thistlefoot after giving a signal to Penny. Now on fire, he is reminded of the goal that he and Eden had set before they were interrupted by the very people that are standing in front of him. Reminded of Thistlefoot's story. Thistlefoot, stand up. Don't let the darkness take you. You're better than this. And you will heal for 14 hit points.
Dale walks up to you and he looks down on you. You see a disappointed look on his face.
You never could beat me fairly. You always needed outside assistance.
He throws a fist, but feints, and the claw reaches across and strikes at you. It hits an already open wound, making it even more dire. As the wounds are healing from the healing magic, you are being brutalized. 11 force damage.
You healed me.
Yeah, 11 force damage as this ethereal claw strikes and presses you against the wall, and you feel yourself being compressed against the stone wall and the shrapnel from the destroyed and flipped table. Krall's turn. You see Q, his eyes divert from you as his maul comes off of you and looks at Thistlefoot as you're talking at him, and you can see a bloodlust in his eyes but he looks back towards you and comes at you again. A stabbing motion, but this time you're ready for it. You kind of jump out of the way. This is kind of like at the moment Penny is trying to come grab you and pull you out of the way. Same roll. He swipes across after the jab, and for the final bite, you hear teeth clamp in front of you and misses all 3 of his attacks.
Nice.
Penny, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to drag Q along. I'm kind of swinging him around in a circle, kind of like I'm doing a slingshot type deal. That way he has some momentum. Point him and shoot him out. That way he can kind of get in the middle of everything.
Your prepared action can go off if you wish to do it now. What are you doing?
I'm going to attempt to grapple Krall. That's the goal.
All right.
So the flavor-wise, I imagine that you're throwing me into him, maybe directly at him, or are you throwing me into the middle of the room?
The middle of the room.
Okay.
That's what I was planning.
Okay, that's fine. Q's going to make eye contact with Krall. Again, now repositioned. Breaking his line of sight with Thistlefoot. Fight is with me, and you're not coming out of it alive.
We'll see about that.
I already know. And he's going to charge forward and try to tackle Krall to the ground.
Okay. Opposed athletics checks.
16.
Krall rolled a 7.
Let's go!
You are able to grapple around him, and he is not ready for how nimble you are, and he crashes to the ground.
The way I'm... Q... having ridden the momentum of being swung around, is going to, with that momentum, fly towards Krall and armbar him, pull him down backwards into a headlock. So Q's resting on his quills, holding him down with one arm.
Because of that, his feet can't reach the ground because you're like platformed.
Q's gigantic, right? He's holding him up, straight headlock.
Yeah, you feel your quills like struggling to hold you up from his weight, but you're able to.
Okay.
Cool.
Thistlefoot.
I'm going to stand up now that I'm on fire, and then I'm going to...
yes. You will take 1 fire damage.
All right.
As the fire starts to burn through your clothes.
For flavor, can I take 1 psychic damage?
Sure, why?
Being on fire.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
Okay.
My heart.
Your boy's going through it. Your boy's going through it.
Ooh.
So, you see an uncharacteristic look of fear on my face. I'm going to do a log roll around him. That way I can like try to roll and put the fire out.
Oh, okay.
But also try to kind of like maneuver around. Use my bonus action to do an unarmed strike. I'm just going to take a straight stone fist to his back as I roll around him. It doesn't hit. It's very much thrown off. I've kind of threw this just out of a fear throw. Very thrown off.
Yeah,
right
as you throw that fist, he swats it away with a wing.
How far you have drifted. Why will you not help? These people need to be guided. The Council of Birdfolk is corrupt.
And he extends a hand.
Please, I don't want to hurt you. Don't force me.
Thistlefoot doesn't say anything. Thistlefoot's breathing is starting to quicken.
He turns that open, extended hand and backhands you. 7 force damage. You feel some of your teeth crack as he slaps your left cheek, and a claw rakes in behind, scratching up the ground, come from your feet all the way to your head. But you continue rolling, and it scrapes into the ground and misses. And he brings up a heel and tries to bring it down onto your head, and it connects. Another 7 force damage. You feel that enhanced power.
With that, it knocks me fully down onto the floor, and I kind of bounce off of the floor, and I lay there limp.
Okay, so this is the first unconscious party member. The way we're going to do this, that we talked about before with the players at least, for the audience perspective, we are going to roll death saves behind board so that the other players do not know. I'm going to be rolling them for Thistlefoot in this moment. So to instill a little bit of unknown panic.
I'm already panicking.
So as it swaps to Q, you have just successfully grabbed Krall and are on the ground. And as you are rolling, fighting for containment of this muscular feral beast, your eyes glance over and see Thistlefoot heel to face, knocked out, and he doesn't move. And Dale is standing over him. Something else you see in this moment. The door that was shattered open, leading to a stairwell, you see a small raccoon figure peeking down from the stairs, and as your eyes meet, a slow grin appears on his face.
Choices.
Yeah, you'll be fine. He's fine. No.
What are you gonna do? It is your
you
turn.
do you. You do you, man. I'm laying on the floor.
Seeing his
Just taking a nap.
seeing his recent companion indisposed by, as far as I know, another worthless bandit, and recognizing the urgency of his situation, Q will lean in to Krall's ear, having him pinned backwards off the ground. I've seen enough death at your hands. Now you'll see some at mine. And he's going to pull the vial of bottled lightning from his pocket and reach over to Krall's mouth with the arm that he's holding him down with, try to pry his teeth open,
Okay.
uncork the vial, and shove it in his mouth.
All right. I want you to do another opposed athletics check.
'Kay.
For me. This is for sticking it in his mouth. You'll still be able to do it either way, but you can still put the bottle in his
Okay.
mouth if he fails.
Okay. 4.
Roll off. He also got a 4.
Holy shit.
Gosh, I'm so stressed.
What is
What
it?
did you roll?
I'm gonna cry.
Natural 1.
He rolled a natural 1.
Oh my god! Yes! Back and forth! Let's do
I'm
this!
so stressed.
3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Let's go.
Yeah,
Ready?
Fine.
Uh-huh. Krall got 2 on the dice.
Holy shit.
It's not enough to beat that.
Q will pry his jaws open with the one hand,
Yeah.
held in an arm bar, uncork the bottle lightning, shake it while he shoves it into his mouth. Meet the same fate that you gave to Eden.
And with an electric explosion, roll 2d100.
Whoa.
Because you stuck it in his mouth.
That's true.
as the lightning elemental in a bottle is set free directly into this bandit general's mouth, in Q fashion, whispers a prayer to Titan. This one is yours.
Oh.
Do with him what you think is right.
And as that lightning strikes with one powerful explosion, the dark room ignites with blue and yellow light, and you can see, like an X-ray, the skeletal form for a brief second of Krall, and he is eviscerated, and burnt flesh and fur smell fills the room. Q, as the sundered remains of Krall roll off of you and start to form piles of ash, you see the thorn, the bramble that he carried, unharmed, drops, clatters to the floor, and at this moment, Scout shoots up from sitting on the stairs and bolts up the stairs.
How much damage was it? I'm curious.
How much total was it?
Krall took 81 lightning damage.
God!
The first roll was 50.
Holy shit!
Oh man, that came in clutch.
Bottle lightning was important here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Elena.
So, with
is that my whole turn?
that was your action. So
Okay,
you still
great.
have bonus action and movement.
How far away is my burning friend whose back was just broken on the
can
I'm
get
not
to him.
burning. I'm
You
not
can get-
burning.
He
I
was
rolled
not
out.
burning anymore.
He's not
rolled
burning anymore.
Oh, perfect.
But I will say, like, to keep things flowing well, I'll just say you can get to him. You can't. I'll give you rounds and stuff because theater of the mind is so annoying to keep track of with feet. And
Right.
stuff.
Okay. If I heal him, it doesn't bring him up from.
It does.
That, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that actual rules now?
That's
in
always been a
2025?
thing.
Has it?
If you heal, he
I'm dumb.
automatically is.
All right, I'm running to him.
Okay.
I'm running to him. Wrap his arms around him. You did good, buddy. Get some rest, and he's gonna cast healing word.
Okay. Cool.
Thistlefoot, you will hear Q's voice in your stupor. A cool breeze will rush over you.
As you're doing that, I'm laying there unconscious, and the only thing running through my mind as my last bits of life trickle out is my body is hot. And when you hold me, strangely enough, it does feel hot. Like it really shouldn't feel hot. And in my mind, there is a roaring fire. There's a roaring fire that is going through my mind, and there are screams. Through that fire and through the screams, I hear your small voice.
Thistlefoot. Thistlefoot.
The flames die down.
Wake up! You'll heal for 11 hit points.
You interfered with our spar. He just lost. And with a legendary action, he's going to 16 to hit you, Q.
That's a miss. You can't hurt me.
Yeah, in your rage, he tries to throw his fist to hit you, and you just reach up and like instinctively grab it.
That's exactly what Q does. He hears Dale's patronizing words from behind him, not willing to allow any more death, at least that he can control, and will swat away Dale's fist as if it was paper. You'll not take any more life from my friends.
That was not the purpose, but you have interfered nonetheless.
Now it's Penny's turn.
I'm going to use a superiority die, and I'm going to use a lunging attack. So I'll take the dash action, and before I hit with the melee weapon, I add the superiority die to push and lunge onto him. Use my hammer to try to just swat him out of the way. 11 to hit.
It does not hit.
Okay, well,
With that batted away hand, he takes a Wrathful Willow stance and meets your hammer and butts it away with an open palm, and it like throws you off balance for a second.
all right, then I'm going to use action surge.
Ooh, okay.
Get it, girl, get it.
14?
Same thing. You use that momentum, and you whip it around the other side. And with his perfect form, uses his other hand and punches your hammer out of the way. Unharmed fist against your hammer. He has iron fist at this moment. You see like the glowing eyes and like something unnatural around his fists and feet as he does strikes. A burst of blue happens, similar to the color of that taloned ethereal claw.
What I'm thinking is,
Tell us what you're thinking.
I'm going to roll up into a ball and then charge at him.
You're gonna hedgehog it, Sonic him. Okay.
Yes.
Anything to get him away from everybody else.
Okay. So
Okay.
you are out of attacks.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you have a bonus action of some kind.
I don't think I do.
I'm sorry. Thistlefoot,
Yes.
regain consciousness out of that stupor.
The stupid.
He was holding you.
You all right, buddy?
I just nod my head.
Okay, let's get back out there.
Stand back up with the help of Q. Look at Dale. I'm going to pick up the spiritual bow staff and try to just smack Dale right across the face.
Okay.
Just take it like a freaking huge tree branch. And just smack him. Just smack the living crap out of his face. That is 20. Dirty 20.
You will hit.
Only 3. So 6. 6 points of damage.
As you bring down this bow staff, he's still staring you in the eyes. He's ignoring your attack, and he says, Thistlefoot, we don't have to do this. And he reaches up a hand, grabs it, and redirects it at you. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
So that is 13.
It's a fail. You take 14 force damage.
I'm down again.
We don't have to do this. And it hits you, and you see him fall over again. At this moment, Dale's going to do his legendary action. But as Thistlefoot gets hit and knocked unconscious again, you see him just slide and crumple
down
against the wall. You see, or you hear the battle below happening. And footsteps ascending the stairs.
Who is it?
And
We don't want any.
a group.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
The first thing you see, at least Q and Penny, is the tips of weapons exiting the staircase, and then you see the commerce, the craftsman,
Let's go.
enraged, ascending the stairs, and with that, Dale takes note, and you see an unnatural speed. And he an aura of blue outlines his body, and he shoots off and flaps his wings and does a spiral spin and glides through and up the stairs.
I have Sentinel.
Oh, shoot.
Immediately after a creature within 5 feet of you takes the disengage action or hits a target other than you with an attack, you can make an opportunity attack against that creature. When I hit a creature with the opportunity attack, the creature's speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn.
You gotta hit.
Okay.
You gotta hit.
Scared.
Let's go. Come on, Q.
There was ever a time for a natural 20.
Oh,
It would be
for
now, yeah.
real. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
16.
It does not hit.
Damn it. Q, seeing Dale try to escape, he's gonna do one wide-reaching swing with his mace just to try to clock him on the beak before he takes off.
And you whiff as he glides, spirals through the air, being propelled by this magical force. And you hear climbing up the stairs. And
Coward!
the craftsmen ascend the stairs, expecting battle. They see you and then look down and see the mangled, crusted, ashen corpse of General Krall and the smoke. This all took like 18 seconds for all this to transpire. But the assault on the Bandit Fortress has concluded, for the moment at least. And the crowd is shocked. I guess literally and figuratively shocked.
They're not shocked.
Yeah.
But Krall?
Yeah,
Krall might be a little
he's shocked into the next world.
Yeah.
Because
Titan's talons.
you did more than his HP, I believe, in
A lot.
damage. So he's gone. But as you look over towards his body, his sundered remains, you see that Thorn smoking but undamaged, with the glowing blue arcane sigils and lines going through it, dimming slower and slower until they become just etchings. The other craftsmen looking around, almost like I said, in shock and pushing through the crowd. You see a pangolin push through the crowd. You see your dad push through the crowd. Where's my ham? I thought I saw my hammer going up the stairs. Penny? What are you doing here, darling?
I'm looking for you.
For me?
Yeah.
You're here?
Yeah, yep, I'm in the flesh. I came looking for you.
by yourself?
Well, I have my friends with me.
Wow. It's so good to see you.
It's you too.
And he comes in and gives you a big hug.
Penny is just sobbing now.
Where did you get my hammer from?
Gundrick, you left it in the shop.
I'm always so forgetful. And he sees Thistlefoot on the ground and kind of runs over, and he like pats around on his pockets and pulls out, and he's like, oh, blueberry, here we go. And he sticks it in your mouth. And you regain 1 HP.
That's where I learned that.
Q's gonna go and grab the weapon that Krall was holding.
Okay, as you grasp the weapon, you feel a strength connect with you, and those runes ignite and they pulse, like matching your heartbeat. This thorn feels like a powerful extension of your body, and you feel satiated picking it up. Penny, your dad turns around and seeing that you kind of regained consciousness, Thistlefoot, what are you guys doing here?
Well, the original plan was gonna go find you, and then we kind of got like on this whole thing where we were like gonna save people and stuff, so that's what we're doing now.
You got into...
By the way, here's your hammer.
Thank you. You got into all that trouble for me?
And yeah.
So
And for the other people, once I realized there were other people that needed help, I wanted to help them because that's what you would do.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I'm Porter, by the way. And he kind of extends a hand to you, Q.
Q, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you?
Thistlefoot.
Thistlefoot. Good to meet you.
Guys, I found my dad.
You found your dad. Porter.
Yeah, that's me.
It's good to finally meet you.
You've heard about me.
Penny's told us all about you.
Oh, that's good, hopefully. Well, we have some work to do. Some folks that need to be warned. They're attacking Alderheart, Penny.
Oh no.
That's what they had us all here for. They were making us make things for their army, and they're heading to Alderheart, I think.
Personally, I think we should go and help them. Obviously, we need to rest and heal. And
As Porter and Penny and Q are talking, Thistlefoot quietly makes his way from the group and heads to the stairs. He just stands at the bottom of the stairs, just looking up in silence.
He's gonna move and stand in between him and the stairs. Wait, you can't do this right now. We can't do this right now. You need to heal. You need to rest. Nobody wants them more than I do, but you can't. I won't lose you two. And I'll put a hand on your shoulder.
Thistlefoot looks at Q, gives a small, little weak smile, and he looks back at the stairs. And then he looks back at Q and just gives a small little nod and lets Q kind of like divert him.
when you guys come back over, I'm like, and then we were in this forest, and then there was like the darkness and then light and then darkness. And
Oh, spooky.
yeah, it was very spooky, and they were like really freaked out, and then I was helping them get out of it. It was pretty cool, but also really scary.
Wow, you really growing up, Penny.
Well, I learned from the best.
Where's the other one? There was another one here, yeah?
And he ran up the stairs. He flew up the stairs.
The crowd of people is they've kind of spread out, and they're helping the wounded people downstairs, and you can see them smiling and helping bandage up each other and tend to the wounded and start to kind of organize. I think I'm going to stay a little while longer, Penny. These people need our help.
I agree. I think that's a good idea.
I'm not much of a mover anymore like you, but what I do know is I can fix things. I can make things real good. And I think I'm going to go help back at the city. You seem to be in a good sort with these folks.
Yes, I trust them with my life.
You should warn those people.
I will. I definitely will.
You're a good
And-
daughter, Penny.
Thanks, Dad.
As Q and Thistlefoot are coming up on the conversation, Thistlefoot's tail just pats Porter as like a sign of thank you.
What do y'all leave now? It's gonna be hard to beat them. They're probably gonna beat you there. I don't have a way to get there sooner than them. I ain't got no wings to fly. Not that we can really do that anymore, but gods only know. I ain't got no magical means of getting there either.
Penguins could fly at some point? What is this?
No, we can't fly. No, what? Why would you think that?
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, surrounding you are there's just papers everywhere on the floor from the battle. You see 2 more of those green vials sitting on one of the tables that is undamaged. The one that broke and got you on fire. Thistlefoot.
Thistlefoot taps Q and directs Q's attention with his tail, points with his tail to the green. You said there's 2? The 2 green bottles.
You'll notice that after he redirected you, he didn't follow you. Q has turned and is going up the stairs. He will cast Cure Wounds on himself. As you turn to look in the direction where you thought he was standing, you just see this angry, shadowy-eyed mass walking up the stairs.
For the first time ever, Penny, you hear Thistlefoot yell, "Penny!" And Thistlefoot dashes.
Okay.
Dashes
we're gonna,
after Q.
We're gonna start with Q for just a moment before that kind of pops off. As you ascend the stairs,
I had a feeling.
eyes shadow. Are you holding that thorn?
Where his mace hand normally is, he's holding the thorn.
Those shadows begin to, it kind of hits the stairs and starts to scrape, those shadows start to kind of form, matching that shadow coming from your eyes. And as you crest the top of the stairs, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god!
Oh
I swear, if you get tripped by this raccoon, I'm gonna laugh.
9.
Unwavering is your step, but you push through and a tripwire activates and a weighted net falls on top of you and pins you to the ground. And through open doors, you can see a room ahead of you with a large oaken table that stretches across the room. You only see some of it so far, and you see peeking from one of the sides of the open doors, and it is Scout. His eyes meet you, checking to see if the trap worked, and you see a smile go across his face. Fell for that one, did you?
I'll kill you.
Oh, you can try. I've already tricked you once. You thought me a small child. I am more capable than you think. You hurt my father.
I spared his life because of you.
He's crippled.
He deserves it.
And so you and your friends deserve this fate. So does Evelyn.
Oh!
I'm going to see her now, actually. The mistress knows where they're going. She's on the list. And he puts up a hand and does a little wave. Bye-bye now. And he's gone from your sight. And you hear a click. And ahead in the room, you see a statue of a fox bearing a crown with an open mouth and fangs. You see a small light up inside of its mouth, and with disadvantage, I want you to make a dexterity saving throw.
10.
The net holding you down, your rage unable to be unleashed, trapped by a mere child. The fire erupts from the statue as 26 fire damage hits you. Are you still up?
Oh, yeah.
And,
Are you kidding?
and burns you severely, but the net is gone. It is burned up in the fire with lead and stone weights on the side only remaining.
In case there's any more traps, he was going to have a moment of clarity in his rage and cast with his last spell slot. He's going to summon a spiritual shield and walk it in front of him and continue up into the room.
It grinds on the ground and pushes forward, but it It does not encounter any traps, at least on the entrance. You see that statue. There's a little bit of black around the mouth. As you enter this room, you see a large, like 15-foot stump with a wooden table, like a slab on top of it. Massive. Before you is a large map of the entire wood and different regions around. There's notes and notations on it, movement patterns, and you see script and things on it depicting like names, and there's like outlined regions that don't look familiar as to like separation of like what would be considered like states or cities or anything. It seems like they've wardened it off into different sections. Also in there is the 2 banners on either side of the room that have the Vixen's face on it. And aside from that, completely empty room. No doors, no windows. Scouts are just gone. And so
Dale too.
Dale's not there either. As you set foot in and you're looking around, a voice echoes into. So you survived. Well, at least this will be a little bit more entertaining, so you can see the consequences of what you've done.
The only one facing consequences will be you.
And Evelyn.
You won't hurt her. You won't take anyone else from me.
Oh, it won't be me. It'll be your fault. I won't be the one doing it. Our lady will be. And you hear like a compression of air. And I want you to make a perception check.
8.
You're looking around furiously, the voice echoing through the room from somewhere, but you can't find it. And after a few seconds, you hear a pop, then nothing else. And your friends clamber up the stairs, Thistlefoot being the first one. You enter the room, you see all the same things, like a singe mark on the ground at the top of the stairs with different like ball-bearing, large weighted stones, and like a singed mark on the floor, a statue, the 2 banners, and then a large table with a map on it.
I like to think the ashes from the singe mark have like little pokey ends from the quills.
I make my way up to Q, and I hit him.
In between his quills, he kind of twitches to make sure you don't spike your hand. And you can see his eyes, and the shadowy mist that's been glowing around them from his thaumaturgy fades. And there's just a tear running out of his eye. Don't hit me. They're going after someone very important to me. They're gone.
Well, let's stop them.
I don't know how.
After Q went up the stairs, she's gonna look to her dad and be like, okay, well, I love you. Please be safe. I gotta go help my friends, and maybe I'll see you later. And I kiss him on the cheek, and then I run off.
Yeah, as you're running up the stairs, or running towards the stairs, and before Thistlefoot and this interaction happens, you hear from the fire, and Thistlefoot, you like kind of see the fire going out as Q stepped through, and as you cross the stairs, you are now in the room and see all the same things.
What happened? What happened? Where did they go? Are you okay?
They're gone.
Are you okay?
We have to find them.
We need to rest. I know.
She's not happy.
I know it's frustrating, but you literally just told Thistlefoot that we need to rest, and we need to rest if we want to be able to catch them and beat them.
The craftsmen downstairs. Do they have means to make a wagon, carriage, something where we can move while we rest?
I'm sure they do.
You know it's not going to be quick and to make.
Can I cast Detect Good and Evil on the whole room?
Sure. Yeah.
It's the presence of like spiritual things, aberration celestials, fey fiends, undead, like rules, and the hallow spell.
With your detection, you do not. Well, you do. You detect evil directly on your person.
Cool.
I knew it.
Cool. Q is not letting go of the thorn.
Okay.
Understanding that.
Clambering up the stairs, and Porter exit the stairs, hammer in hand. You think I was gonna leave you after all that?
I'm sorry. I'm
Not letting my daughter walk into something. Is everything okay? Pulls out his hammer and looks around vigorously.
As Porter's doing that and such, Thistlefoot's going to gather up the maps that are on the table.
So it's one giant map. There's a bunch of notes. If you're looking at it now, I can go over it.
No, I'm going to.
Massive.
Can I take the map and like fold it to where?
You can roll it up, yeah.
Yeah,
It does have a lot of notes, and there's a knife stabbed through a note at one point of it, and there's also a book sitting on one of the portions.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the map first before I remove it and tuck it away.
Okay.
With the notes.
You don't have to roll anything. I'll just kind of tell you what you see here. So you look over the map, and each area is kind of sectioned off. Like Alderheart and most of the surrounding wood, which is like the most predominant region that is outlined. There is notation, and you recognize one of the names in some of the areas here. So you were given the name of region captains for the Brackenmill area. Dutch. Region captain Dutch. There's tokens in these areas at the center that depict right next to those names. The Alderheart one is labeled Region Captain Sheila, which is Shylla Den, Den, separate words. And it's depicted by a gray fox sigil, like a little token, almost the size of a coin. The Brackenmill and Avium area of the map is labeled Region Captain Dutch with a brown hawk sigil. The Crest Mountains, including the Bandit Fortress, is a sigil of a raccoon bearing teeth and is labeled General Krall. Southern region of Marshview and most of the other low population towns of Saltersport and Meadowfen, Region Captain Kragan is depicted by a white owl. And you see another token next to that gray one. It is a larger hand size almost of a red fox wearing a golden crown, and it's set directly on Alderheart. Okay. And on top of the map, there's a couple things you find as well. Around the Scorched Grove area is a knife pierced through the map, and it also is pierced through a folded up piece of paper. As you pull out the knife and open the letter, you see very elegant handwriting. It says, and I can send this to you. Mm-hmm. That night was like any other, from what I remember. I had just went to bed after having dinner with them at either side of our round oak table. The stewed rabbit smell filled the house, and Father was laughing about how one of the neighbor kids was caught rooting around in his shop while he was out collecting some wood to work on. He was always in his shop, making the most amazing things. He would pull works of art out of old forgotten trees that looked so horrid when he brought them in. Mother was always involved in everyone else's business. I did not know why at the time, but I think I understand now. A lot of people want something, but it takes following someone who will commit and lead to get anything done. I wish I still had something to remember her I could hold, but I take that lesson and this role to remove that corruption. They knew and still did nothing and let everyone die. The fire came so fast and so quick, and I was the only one to make it out of the house before it collapsed. Krall was the only other one that survived out of our whole village. I am at least glad to have someone to share those memories and purpose with.
What's the title of the book?
There is no title. Plain old bound book. Looks very, very old though. Like it has seen some travel. The corners of the book are rubbed, like curved. They're beveled now from just being rubbed so much. It looks like the binding is like falling apart, splitting. A lot of the pages are singed and torn. The cover as well.
Okay, well, I'm gonna save taking a look at it till later.
Thistlefoot, will you let me see the book? Q open to the first page.
The wood was a lawless place in those days, with each settlement fending for itself. The scattered brigands united under a shadowy leader, the Robber King, forming the first bandit coalition. Their forces swept through Humblewood, raiding villages and even daring to strike at the birdfolk in their high perches Only the Evertree stood unbroken, its towering form beyond their reach. Bramblewell, exposed on the forest floor, suffered repeated attacks, but through the aid of the Canopy folk, they rebuilt stronger each time. As refugees and warriors gathered, the settlement grew, giving rise to Alderheart, a bastion of hope and unity. The Robber King sought to crush that hope. His forces laid siege to Alderheart, armed with fire and war machines meant to topple the Evertree itself. For 10 grueling days, the defenders fought. The battle left many dead on both sides, but in the end, Alderheart stood victorious. The Robber King fell, his name fading into history. Though others would claim his title in years to come, to this day, a monument of Evertree wood stands in Council Plaza, bearing the names of those who perished, their memory gilded in gold so they may never be forgotten. It seems to be a historical book about the times before... Make a history check for me.
And
Only know this because of your connection with trade. There is a gate at Alderheart, one of a few, called the Bramblewell Gate, but it is not the locale of what the name Bramblewell came from. Bramblewell used to be a settlement at the base of the western side of Alderheart's trunk, where humble folk used to live before the many assaults from the different bandits throughout time. And it's been left in ruin and not populated since the times of old. So it's just a ruined old town. But there is a lift there that is used and brings you to Bramblewell Gate, where lone travelers and refugees from the Scorched Grove would have used when the Scorched Grove was predominantly starting up. So it saw a lot of travel in the earlier days, but is now very untraveled. And a lot of low-life underground activities happen there.
Seems like they're wanting to do what the Bandit King tried to do in the beginning. Looks like this matron is wanting to finish the job that the Bandit King started long ago and take out Alderheart.
it's not surprising to me that bandits have always fought against hope. We have to do something.
Let's show them what hope looks like.
But first, we need to rest.
You're right.
You
We
are
have to
not
rest.
going unconscious again.
That was scary, man.
Thistlefoot doesn't say anything. His head kind of droops a little bit, but only barely noticeable, and a slight little shadow on him. And inside, he can't help but just think of the failures that he's had in this encounter, and that he is not strong enough.
And he's going to walk up to you because she can see the look on your face that she is now very familiar with. All right. Blueberry or oatmeal cookie?
He takes his little paws and he closes Penny's hands around them. Thank you, Penny, but not right now.
Well, that's too bad. Blueberry or oatmeal cookie. If I have to stuff it in your mouth, I will do so.
You should probably listen to her, dude. She's not joking.
He takes the blueberry and he
What?
eats it. He makes sure Penny watches him eats it, and he gives an overly exaggerated swallow too.
I'm going to put my hand on your back, cure some of your wounds. Tell her it was the blueberry.
Sometimes you get in your head, and I can tell now. So anytime you get too far into that, the offer will stand. But it's more like a, too bad you're doing it. You're going to decide.
She's just like her mother.
My tail grabs your arm.
Whoa.
Don't do that again.
Heard. Porter,
Yeah.
it's very important that we rest. And then it's very important that we make it to Alderheart as expeditiously as possible.
Right?
I don't know how we can best get there.
Well, shoot fire. I don't know either.
Shoot
what I'm
fire.
asking is, shoot fire. What I'm asking
Well,
is,
her mother says that sometimes.
Oh,
It kind of slips in, you know.
I can see that. I can see
Yeah.
that. I'm surprised she hasn't said it yet. No.
Well, yeah, you'd be surprised. It'll slip out.
Maybe the situation will arise. Shoot
Yeah.
fire is a little traumatic for me right now, but
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
it's okay. I'm good now.
sorry.
I'm good now. Might we collect the craftsman before everybody takes off?
Sure.
Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Maybe we can brainstorm some ideas.
Yeah, I guess.
I know you're all eager to get home or wherever you may be going.
I mean, we need to kind of get some supplies before we make our way. It's a little bit to Brackenmill and other places for some of them, but yeah, we can. I'm sure it's okay.
Even ideas for us to get there, whether or not that includes your help.
Okay.
Will be
Yeah.
appreciated.
Sure. I can do that.
Can I take a glance around the room? So you said there was maps. Is there anything of interest?
Give me an investigation check.
10.
You don't find anything else like any secret passages or traps or anything like that. But you do find underneath the large table a interesting contraption. It glints with a little bit of the candlelight, and you pull it out from underneath the table, and you see this breastplate of bronze and metal design, weird pulleys and mechanical contraption that has wings on the back of it.
Like a Da Vinci looking backpack thing.
Yeah.
So as we're heading out to the courtyard, as Porter's gathering everybody up, I guess Thistlefoot would be the last one out, and he hangs back a little bit, and he looks at the table where the map was, and he just looks around the room, and he's going to let out a big long sigh, big long breath, and he goes up to the big table, and then he strikes it and breaks it. I'm sorry, Master. I have failed you.
Oh, Dad. Hey, I heard a rumor. You know that stone you were looking for?
Yeah?
So when all this is over, promise me that we can go to Crest Mountains.
We're here now. What do you mean?
Somewhere around this area.
Oh, don't tell me. And he clasps his head. It's here.
Yeah! But we gotta help all these people first. But
Oh, yeah, of course.
when all this is done, promise me we can go look for it.
No way. I've been looking so long for this.
Oh, I know.
It's here?
Yeah!
Shoot fire. I do want to jump back to you for just one more moment. Thistlefoot. Single strike through this 8-inch thick tabletop. Immediately cuts in half. Dust flies up as you hit it. Your eyes catch dust going behind one of the banners as you're walking out of the room, and it seems to slip into a really indistinct crack in the wall. It's similar to the way air would flow into the cove of where you stayed as a child in your home to survive.
I found something. I'm going to tear that banner down.
Dust flies off the banner, some ash too. A little bit of that just kind of gets pulled into a crack in the wall. Pretty large crack. It does not seem to be filled with mortar, and seems like it is a hidden doorway. You need to open it.
I'm gonna look at Penny. Bring the hammer.
I was about to say, can I hit it? Can I hit it?
You impact the wall, cracks spider out from where you hit it, and then that forge fire ignites, filling the cracks, and you see them get overwhelmed with heat and crumble, and a doorway is revealed into a circular dome room. Dust fills it and kind of obscures your view for a moment, but you see a large series of circles in the floor. The dust flies out, and you also see a singular piece of paper flying, and it just kind of floats back down in front of the doorway as you're entering.
Thistlefoot grabs it.
It's a series of names, and there's a lot of them that are crossed out. The next couple on the list, Virgil, Carol, and one that looks to be more freshly inked, Evelyn.
I hand the list to Q.
And that's where we'll end this episode.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Hey, Night Owls. Thanks for listening to this episode of Tales at Twilight. Mark is our DM, Becca is Penny, Matt is Thistlefoot, and Q is played by myself, Darwin. Our cover art is done by Seba Huidobono, and our theme by Jeremy. Links to their work are available in the show notes below. Do us a solid by leaving us a review on whatever podcast platform you listen on. Tell your friends, post it on socials, you know the drill. Our next episode will be released in 2 weeks, so stay tuned until the next Twilight.